Hey guys, welcome back to Surreal Beauty. I'm Tiffany and I am super excited to be back and to really catch you guys up on what's been going on, where I'm going, what's happening. I wanted to just share, first of all, I have gone through so many tumultuous experiences, which has not only shaped me as a person personally, but also professionally. And I thought that this would be a good time to just start recording and tracking my journey of becoming a licensed professional therapist, or the actual term is licensed professional clinical counselor, which is the LPCC. And basically, in my journey of becoming, I am basically letting the world know that the mental health field is a field that I am passionate about and that I definitely want to advocate for. And so I am taking you all on my journey of becoming a licensed professional clinical counselor. In short words of saying, a licensed therapist. Excited, and honestly, what does this journey even look like? What does this process or the requirements to even get licensed? What does this look like? I'll be explaining that in this video. And honestly, if you stay tuned and join me with more videos, I'll be sharing not just the ups and downs, but new experiences, opportunities of new learning lessons and things that I'm just going to be learning along the way, new skill sets that I'll be sharing with you all. And so I'm really excited because I just think that this is the perfect time to really step up in this field. I really did notice that when COVID-19, the pandemic hit, it really rattled all of us. And I noticed, especially with the students, like younger, the adolescents were deeply impacted and have still continued to reap the unfortunate I would just say like consequences of like the isolation, having to be in solitude. Just it really changed the dynamic for a lot of us. And so the need for mental health professionals, helping professionals, the demand definitely skyrocketed during COVID and even afterwards. And I'm noticing that the demand for mental health therapists is by far at an all-time high. And so honestly, I just thought this was a good time to kind of pick up those shoes, because honestly, I did start my master's program back in 2017, but I was also around a time where I was pursuing other dreams that I had at the time. I was still finding myself trying to figure out, I guess, where I belonged. And so it's taken, I would say, at least 2 to 3 years, maybe even more, to really come to the moment where I'm like, you know what? This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to move forward with. I feel really strongly about it. This is not where it stops. It doesn't end here. It just starts here. This is the beginning. And there's just so many things to look forward to in life. So y'all definitely, I'm super excited to share this. And honestly, when it just comes to, obtaining your license in the clinical field, it looks different. You have many different types of licensed professionals, but the specific track that I'm going on is LPCC. And LPCC stands for Licensed Professional Clinical Counselor. In short, as I said, a therapist. I know that sometimes the word counselor and therapist are used interchangeably. To be quite honest, I use therapist. I just think it sounds classier. I don't, honestly, that's it. But yes, so what does this process look like? So initially, when you're getting into the field, you have to attend a program, a graduate program, right? So I know there are many different ways to tap into this field. I'm really just going to specifically speak on what my process entails and what it looks like. But I do know that there are other avenues that one can take. So the program that I'm taking, in my graduate program, my master's program. It is a 60-hour credit program that I am required to take. And honestly, if you're going straight through it, it's about 2 years, give or take. And I am finally down to the home stretch of my experience, which is part of the reason why I thought, let me start kind of sharing this part of my journey, because there were moments where I felt like, I wonder if other people are kind of experiencing this, or I'm wondering if I can help someone with this story. A lot of the ups and the downs honestly have shaped me, have created much more character in me, and I just don't want to like hide it. I just feel compelled to share it. So definitely want to talk about what my experience was last semester during practicum. Anyways, but yes, so the first part of the process is attending an accredited program that has either it could be counseling, social work, depending on what field you want to get into. Me specifically was counseling, and I wanted to make sure I attended a KCREP accredited institution. And the KCREP accreditation institutes or it states to the head board people, the National Counseling Board, it informs them that, okay, this person went to an accredited university, they met the requirements, they received the sufficient knowledge, training, and education that's needed to be considered and looked at as a professional. And so you want to make sure you do that. So the 60 hours, things like that. And part of the 60-hour credits, after you take your classes, you have what they call the practicum experience, and then followed by the internship experience. And so the practicum is basically the part of the graduate or the master's program where now you're not just learning through a textbook and taking assignments and giving presentations and things like that. You are actually getting into the field, working with clients, right? Doing progress notes. You are learning and taking in, helping actual people in the world, and you're getting that hands-on experience. So it's not as intense as internship. Practicum is like that first step, and you are required 100 hours that needs to be completed, and 60 of those hours, I have to double check, but yes, I believe 40 of those hours have to be direct hours, and then 60 of them have to be indirect. I might be getting the numbers switched, but I'll just double check with that. But yes, so you have to make sure, and basically what direct means is direct contact with clients, whether you're having one-on-one counseling, whether you're having group counseling, anything that allows you to have that initial contact with the clients. And then you also have to get indirect experience where you're doing progress notes, right? You're doing paperwork, you're doing professional development training. There are other things, anytime you're in the office and you're doing tasks that are not directly related to the client, where you're seeing them face to face. But let's say if you're doing progress notes, you're not literally in that moment with the client, but you are still taking care of work-related tasks that have to do with the client. And so therefore that is considered indirect hours. So you have to complete a total of 100 for your practicum experience. And once you complete that, you can move on to your internship experience. An internship, the way it's broken down, it's really 2 courses. You can take them all at once in one semester, or you can split them in 2, which is what I'm going to do. One internship class is 300 hours. So that means 300 hours need to be met in order to officially satisfy your first internship experience to pass on to the next one. So for that 300 hours, right, you need 120 of those hours to be direct, and then the rest of them needs to be indirect. So remember, as I just said, that direct is actual direct contact with the clients, and then indirect is everything that's related to the client, but not so specifically direct. So you have that, you have your practicum, then you have your internship. The internship is broken into 1 and 2, or we call it A and B. So you have to meet 300 hours in internship A, and then 300 hours in internship B, which is a total of 600 hours. Once you complete the last 600 hours of your internship and the last remaining classes, you get to graduate, which is like, yay, it's exciting. And then after when you graduate, then you get to register to become provisionally licensed. And depending on what state you're at, like I know New York differs from like Texas. Texas differs from California. Currently where I'm located, I'm in the tri-state area of West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. And the cool thing about these 3 states is if you get licensed in one, you can actually apply to get licensed in the other 2 states, because they have what you call a tri-state compact, which allows you, because the laws, I guess I would say they kind of see eye to eye almost in a sense. So you can apply for your licensure in not just like, let's say West Virginia, but also Kentucky and Ohio. So I think that's also the cool thing as well. And pretty much if you want to get licensed in any state, you would have to follow the requirements of that. I know for the neighboring states of West Virginia, The requirement is about 3,000 hours, 3,000 supervision hours, or actually 4,000 supervision hours. So once you graduate, right, you have that practicum of 100 hours along with the internship 600. So that's 700 hours that you would have already completed once you graduate. And so you can actually, that 700 hours counts towards that 4,000 hours that you have left to fulfill. And so the rest of those hours, you would have to continue to see clients, continue to work in the field, but also you would have to continue to seek supervision. And supervision is basically, and I should have kind of explained this because in practicum and internship, you actually do have a supervisor. So let me just backtrack a little bit. In practicum and an internship, right, you have your professor, right? Your professor's running the practicum class or the internship class, and that's considered like your school supervisor, right? Then you also have to work in the field, right? So I'll also talk about my experience, my practicum experience. You have to find a site where you can also have a supervisor there. So when you're actually on the site seeing clients, you have a point of reference and contact, someone who is guiding you along your way. That is super necessary because your supervisor is your go-to person if you're ever in need of any type of support, any clinical support, anything like that, guidance, all of that. So you have that person, like ideally you would want the same supervision site throughout your practicum and internship experience. It makes it easier, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. And we can talk about that too. But yes, so that's primarily how it works. So now when you graduate, right, and now you're getting into the field, you can register for your provisional license, meaning you are not independently licensed. You don't have that LPCC title yet or that LMFT title, right? You don't have it just yet, but you have like your associate. So instead of like LPCC, it's LPCA. So you're like you're licensed, but you're like halfway there. Until you fulfill the 4,000 hours. Some states, they require 2,000 hours. Some states require as much as 4,000. It just depends. So I'll just say 2,004 hours. But 4,000 hours is what I'm required to do. And with those 4,000 hours, you have to seek supervision. And once you complete those 4,000 hours, you are also required to pass a law and ethics exam, which we know as the National Counseling examination. And basically that exam, it's like a 3-hour exam. I believe it's like 200 plus questions, testing your knowledge. And once you pass that test, you are now considered an independently licensed clinician. And now you have that title of LPCC, and now you can go into the world and really just, stamp your mark. And so that's like the process in a nutshell. But really, guys, I think that it's really important to just think about when you are going on a journey, when you are passionate about something, when you actually want to pursue something, why are you doing this? Or why, like actually knowing your why, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this process? And I say that because I know that sometimes when we are on our journeys, we can sometimes get discouraged. Sometimes the workload, it can be very time consuming. It can require every bit of us. But when you are passionate and when you truly want to tap into something where you know that you can really serve, you can really advocate, honestly, it is worth going through the process. And I would honestly say trust the process. And I say all that to say that this process has definitely been one that tests my character. It definitely tested my character last semester. I'm going to talk more in another video about what internship was like, but honestly, guys, I really give it to God. I give it to the supportive people and loved ones in my life. My supportive, loved partner, he has definitely been a super support. And honestly, just like networking at school, like the professors, like my peers, my colleagues, my supervisors, having positive people who are in the field, people who have gone through the steps, right? People that are ahead of you, who have been there, done that, people that are right there with you, and people that are on their way. So you can also like help, teach others as well. I think it's really important to have a collective network and pool of people to bring you through this, because doing it alone, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's like, why would you do that, right? This is a process that you want to do with like others and like join and integrate, engage and learn and grow. And so honestly, I'm super excited for this journey. Stay tuned as I will be sharing more videos. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box. Until next time.